Hey guys, it's First Amers here. So today I'm going to be doing a Road to Friendship movie review. So these are completely my opinions. Keep in mind that they are not the same as your own. So one of my personal favorite Friendship is Magic episodes, Road to Friendship, was released in 2018. It was so fun to rewatch this episode. This episode will really split into three parts, but please stay tuned for more. I might upload some more. So, without further ado, let's begin. The episode starts on the edge of Ponyville, where Starlight Glimmer is performing before dozens of ponies. It's Trixie Magic Show, and Starlight and Trixie are performing a box trick. They open up the box to reveal Granny Smith, who complains about being teleported without her permission and knowledge. After the show ends, Twilight and Sparkle and Princess Cadance talk with Trixie and Twilight, explaining how the and Flurry Heart, I might add, enjoying the show. The two princesses compare the mayor's friendship to theirs and show them their famous Sunshine. Twilight laughs and marvels at the bond Trixie has with Starlight. Trixie and Starlight are placing their equipment into the wagon, while Starlight remembers that she needs to be doing her student counseling. She leaves Trixie to clear up, and that is where she's approached by a stallion, whose name is Hufar, and has traveled from Saudi Arabia. He explains that Trixie should do a show in his homeland, and she explains that her wagon isn't strong enough to travel all the way to Saudi Arabia. He offers to trade a new and spacious caravan with the magician. However, Trixie refuses, as the caravan is too precious to her. Hufar leaves, and the scene then moves to Starlight's office at Twilight School, where Trixie is lying on the sofa explaining what just happened. She is then convinced to hit the road with Starlight by her side, but only when Starlight finds the pony to cover her sessions. Later the same day, Starlight Glimmer arrives at Trixie's wagon with two suitcases. Trixie groans quietly, without Starlight realizing. The wagon is cramped and messy, however they both manage to fit in it. They both head outside when one of the smoke glasses go off and start embarking on the road to friendship. Part 1 is a very good start to the episode, and it's very good in length. We already introduced a character who has a strong ego and will pop up multiple times during the episode. The pacing is well thought out, and the effort has definitely been put in. So part 2 is, now the two mayors are outside, Starlight says she's glad to be that they aren't like Twilight and her other friends, stating that they would be singing at this point. Just as Starlight and Trixie start singing, during their, but when they start singing, everything goes smoothly. During the song, they see two post-Mayor Pegasi who have clearly fallen out. Trixie and Starlight say they will never be like them. Starlight says any trip can be exhausting if you make a fuss. But Trixie says, but we get on so well that there's no way that could be us. They eventually arrive at Sonobula's village, where Starlight immediately wastes a bit on street food. Trixie complains and Starlight immediately apologizes and said they wait in a queue for hay cakes. Afterwards, they then try their best to find an inn to sleep in. For the cramped caravan just isn't working for the two ponies, but they're highly successful. And unsuccessful, actually. As well as the inns are full. Instead, they decide to stay in the extremely cramped wagon, but simply laugh about it. Until Starlight falls asleep, Trixie is convinced that there is a wild animal outside, but instead it turns out to be Glimmer's snores. Starlight apologizes and both of the ponies fall back asleep. Trixie then starts talking in her sleep, practicing the next performance. They both wake up having a terrible sleep, and Starlight has eaten the last hay cake. Trixie moans and drinks the last of the juice, to Starlight's annoyance. Hoofar had been sleeping next door to them, and boasts about how wonderful his sleep was. Then it cuts to their performance, which goes, well? Starlight and Trixie complain about each other's throughout the show. Now, Trixie even shouts at the old stallion who was put into the box. The English storm off, leaving the crowd in question what just happened. It then cuts to later that night where Trixie and Starlight are squabbling over the lack of food and drink they have. This leads to a fallout where Trixie runs into nearby bushes to sleep. In the morning, she realizes her wagon is missing, and after Starlight explains what had happened, Trixie is heartbroken and seems shocked that her friend would do such a thing. The second part of the episode is again well paced, and there are no major issues. However, the plot line of the two falling out is very predictable, and suggests that this trope is not new to all friendship is magic. So, part 3, after Starlight boasted and arguing with her friend, Trixie runs away with her luggage and on the quest to find her wagon. Starlight Glimmer attempts to make her way back to Ponyville. She finds said wagon. Trixie does, and Hoofar emerges out of it, and it starts to find Trixie without Starlight saying. Trixie called, whatever. Trixie calls him names and stages a protest in order to get her wagon back by lying on the ground. Without her friend, Starlight struggles to get back home and encounters the two male mares they saw before, who thank Starlight for the song and inspiration. So this convinces Starlight to go back in order to find Trixie and return the wagon to Hoofar. She finds the two and apologizes for what she had done, and asks for Hoofar if they can trade again. However, he would only be willing to trade if they could prove the two were best friends. The mares decide to create a friendship chant, which is very clear that it's the first time they have ever had one, or ever done one in front of somebody else. And Hoofar says it's the worst thing he has ever seen. However, the trade for Trixie's wagon is successful, as only true friends would be willing to act so ridiculous for one another. They arrive back in Ponyville, and just as they are about to celebrate joyfully, they realize that they might have accidentally stolen some pony. Now, I think it's made our friendship greater and more powerful than ever, as one of them says. This was a very sweet ending to the episode, and it's very fast. And it happened straight away, honestly, suggesting that the episode could have been even longer. Overall, this episode is amazing. 5-star rating. If I have, I would give 4. Um, this is a personal favorite. Not the best, but it's not the worst at all. It develops so well on two fan favorites and tells the story of two friends who can't always be around for one another. So characters, in my opinion, of the episode is best Trixie, worst Starlight. It's you know. How would you change the worst character in the episode? So, um, so Trixie, her attitude across the episodes, well, actually, no, Starlight was very inconsiderate of Trixie's wagon and the things she loves, and definitely crossed the line when she traded it. It would change the views that she has and possibly put a cosmic comedic twist on it. Sorry. I like to thank everyone who voted. Never mind. It wasn't a vote. It was just something else. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video, that little review. If you haven't watched it, I'm sorry. I should have had spoilers to it. There are spoilers, yes, but I do believe that everyone's seen the episode. So if you haven't, I'm sorry, but there are, I do believe that a lot of ponies have conflicts in Prisoners Magic. Yeah, but Trixie and Starlight became friends only because Twilight had a debacle with Trixie for a while. Not to mention Starlight stealing the Alicorn amulet and challenging Twilight to a duel, to which she accepts. But in all honesty, Trixie and Starlight do make a good team because they were both enemies of Twilight before they got reformed. I wouldn't say it's that much of a bad twist, but it is quite of an interesting way to put it. If you think about it, being two villains, like for example, if you put Trixie. Actually, no. If you put two enemies together, like for example, Discord and T-Rex, they worked together for a while, yeah, but they got into a fight. Not really a fight, but T-Rex betrayed Discord and stole his magic. Now, if you were to put someone like Sombra or Chrissy or T-Rex together, even Kozilo for that matter, together, Sombra would always want to go his own way because his main intention was to take over the Crystal Empire, which failed twice. So, what really happens in the episode that we don't see? Well, sometimes it actually goes back to fanfiction. And even though it hasn't been canon, it could also be part of the fandom that has these kinds of, twists. But we can leave that up to the fans. So with that, class is dismissed.